Are you a big man? Huh? I'm talking to you. What? You wake up in the morning, you say, I'm wearing my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing a belt. I got big boy pants on.
All right, Giants fans, this is Tim of the Line Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk entertainment. It's Big Boy Pant time. We got the Eagle game on Sunday. It's time for the Giants to go against or to focus on a Herculean task and go after the Philadelphia Eagles. I got to move my microphone a second. Sorry, I'm not playing with it. I'm just moving it. It's weird when you watch people just play with a microphone all day. I've seen some videos like on YouTube and Twitter where people have a microphone in front of them and they just like touch it like it's their penis. Like they got to play with it. I don't know what the hell's wrong with people when they do that. But you know what? The Giants are rocketing into another game. The Giants are coming off the loss here, 0-2-1 over the last 3 games. And we're going up against the vaunted Philadelphia Eagles. I want to talk about the Giants' injuries. I want to talk about some of the keys to the game and some things they could do and need to do to make this game manageable. I'll say I don't know if it's winnable yet, but it could be manageable in reference to not making it into a blowout. But I got to give some props to the Philadelphia Eagles. I really do. What is it? Nick Sirianni. When they hired him as the head coach, I thought that was a joke. I thought it was a worse joke than Joe Judge. I really did. And he has done nothing but prove not only myself but the NFL completely wrong. Also, I'm going to be on Bird Gang 31 tonight on YouTube. I think it's 7:30 or 7:40. I don't remember the exact time, but I'll post it later. Listen, I have a unique perspective as a Giant fan in reference to the Eagles. I am the only Giant YouTuber, and I'm going to admit this freely. I'm the only Giant YouTuber who's been in Eagle jail at both the Vet and Lincoln Financial. Most people don't know, in the old Vet, they actually had a courtroom and a holding cell. I've been in that, and I've been in the holding cell in the Link as well. I will tell you this, the Link is a very nice holding cell. It's much nicer than the Vet was because of the fact there is such a heated rivalry against the Giants and the Eagles. It's been going back for years. But like I said, I got to give props to where props is due. I mean, Howie Roseman has put together another excellent team. He's made the trades that made this team what it is. He's drafted the players that's made this team what it is. He's brought in guys that have been disregarded from other teams, such as you're looking at you, James Bradbury. And he's just shown the ability to keep retooling on the fly. He may have one down season, but then he runs into a season like now. He's 11-1. He's made the 2 playoffs 2 years in a row. I've always loved Jalen Hurts. I've never hidden the fact that I've said multitudes of times that I would take Jalen Hurts over Daniel Jones 7 times a week and twice on Sunday. Because I think there's just something about him. His team rallies around him. And I even had a discussion, I think it was Bad Dog on his show, and I know he's not a Jalen Hurts fan, but hopefully he's come around, that this guy there's something about it's just sometimes you may not be the most talented quarterback, but you have the trust and the belief of your troops, of the men you're commanding. And Jalen Hurts has that. He's got that something. He's got that it. He's got that factor that makes people want to play with him. You watch when he gets sacked, the way the offensive linemen pick him up like he's their little brother. And almost like, yo, dude, sorry, that's on me, my bad. He's just got that. He's got that infectious personality that sometimes overcomes limited ability. And right now, his limited ability has already rushed for 600 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's thrown for over 2,900 yards and 20 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. He's 24 years old. He's going to be guiding this team probably for the next 10 years. He's going to be a pain in the ass in the division. He's going to be Jaworski-esque. He's going to be Randall Cunningham-esque. Hell, he's going to be Donovan McNabb, I believe. And it's just one of those things that people will talk about how, we beat him last year in New York. But if Featherstone doesn't drop that pass, the Giants lose that game. So, I mean, he had a bad game, but he's put that all behind him. He's moving his team forward, and this is a team that is well built from the running game with Miles Sanders with over 924 yards and 9 touchdowns to the receiving game. And like I said, his receivers are just – I mean, they're just guys that you got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and 61. They both have 61 catches, which I find interesting. But A.J. Brown is 950 yards for 9 touchdowns. Devontae Smith is 711 yards for 4 touchdowns. You also have Thurman Dallas over the big tight end with 43 receptions for 44 yards. And then you go down to the defensive side of the ball. They're stacked on defense. People forget about Hassan Reddick, who went over to Philadelphia. You got Hardgrave, who's also got 8 sacks from the defensive tackle position. You got Joshua Sweet, who's also got 6.5. You got Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, TJ Edwards, Milton Williams. You even got old Joseph, who came over, who started with the Giants, went to Minnesota, and now is over with the Eagles. You got Dominican Sue's on this team. You got Big Play Slay. You got James Bradbury, who are both balling out. You got the rookies coming in with Jordan Davis and Dean. I mean, this is a team that is well constructed, well built together, and there's a reason why they're 11-1. So I have to give all the props in the world to Philadelphia. Like I said, I've bashed Philadelphia multitudes of times over and over again, but they are a well constructed team. They are for real 11-1 team. I loved it because their expected win loss total was 8 wins this year. And this is after coming back from their 2021 season where they went 9-8 and made the playoffs. You got to give them credit, man. You really do have to give this team. You got to give this team all the props in the world, all the credit in the world for what they've done and what they've put together. And you know what? And I think all Giant content creators who are actually honest will understand what I'm saying, because of the fact that this is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a tough road to hoe for the Giants. It's going to be, we're going to need to get some of these key players back, and that's what we're talking about. Adoree Jackson is not going to be playing today. Next on Sunday. He's missed the last 2 games, of course, with the sprained MCL. So he may come back probably against the Commanders games. It's usually you figure about 4 weeks for an injury like this. Leonard Williams, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Evan Neal both missed 4 games and 3 games respectively with the same type of injury. McKinney, who broke his hand on the ATVX during the bye weeks. People are saying a little bit are uncertain. He says, he said Dable has come out and said that the hand is still swollen. It still has pins in it. And if they were to be removed, would he be able to play? And Dable says right now, no, I would say. But despite that, McKinney himself is optimistic about that. He is near a return and could come as early as Sunday. I don't see it. I posted a video. Excuse me. I posted a picture because when we were on the sidelines on Sunday, Xavier McKinney was maybe 6 yards away from me. And I took some pictures, and you could see that he has 2 splints on his hand in reference to the fingers. And it's not like they were like you had 1 splint and the other finger was just kind of, taped together for support. They were 2 separate silver splints. So I assume there was more than 1 finger that was injured. So I'm kind of curious where that's going to go. And I'm kind of curious to see how the Giants can work through the issues that they have right now in reference to injuries on the defensive side. Leonard Williams, of course, went out in the game yesterday. Leonard Williams is not a big loss. Everyone talks about Leonard Williams and how we have these great bookend defensive tackles because of Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams has not been played well. Really hasn't. Leonard Williams, the Giants got ripped. The Giants get ripped apart off tackle and in the interior line every game. Every game. So I'm not too concerned about the loss of Leonard Williams. He played only 35 snaps on Sunday due to a neck injury, which is still sore, and he's still uncertain for the game on Sunday. But like I said, it's just one of those things that he hasn't been manning doing his job. He can make a play here and there, but he is not being consistent. Dexter Lawrence is taking a little bit of a step back as well, but Dexter Lawrence is playing at such a high level. There's a reason why. And he's also playing a high snap count. He played it out of the 85 defensive snaps. Dexter Lawrence played 77% of those snaps. He's been playing a large portion of the snaps over and over again. The big question always is, can the Giants beat the Eagles on Sunday? You always have the old adjective. It's any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. Also a good movie. Not the most realistic movie, but a good football flick. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. The Giants can get hot. Daniel Jones can get hot. Jalen can get cold. They can make. We've seen teams in some regards play down at the Giants level and then turn it on when needed and win by 14, 14 points. But can the Giants push forward this week? I mean, it's one of those things that the Giants are going to have to go heavy ball control. they are going to, with the secondary that we have with the likes of Zion Gilbert, and we did a whole thing about Zion Gilbert, about how this kid got beat like he stole something, that he made one good play, celebrated like he won a Super Bowl, then he got burned the next play. I always love it because Barry Sanders was asked, the great running back, Hall of Famer Barry Sanders was asked, how come you don't spike the ball when you got in the end zone? How come you just flipped it to the ref? And he always says you got to act like you've been there. And it's the same thing with people like Marvin Harrison, people like, you act like you've been there. And you can tell Zion Gilbert hadn't been there before because he got beat like he stole something. The Giants need to control the clock. They need to keep the Eagles' offense off the field. They need to keep A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith out of that defensive secondary. Because I've said this before, I don't think that Tyler Heinicke had a good game against the Giants. I really don't. But the thing is with Tyler Heinicke is he also missed a lot of wide open guys high. And I said this in the podcast yesterday. It's extremely dangerous to miss high in the NFL because there's more of an opportunity. That's the one good thing about Daniel Jones. He always misses low. He always misses low. This way you can't intercept the ball. And that's a dangerous way to play. But if he connected on those passes, he may have gone for 400 yards. But he missed some wide open guys. Thank God. Thank God he did, but he missed some wide open guys. I don't think Jalen's going to do that. I think their running game is way too strong for the interior line of the Giants. So I think the best way for the Giants to even think about winning this game is to maintain the clock, ball control, limit the chances that the Philadelphia Eagles will have against our secondary. Azeez Ojulari is going to need to play a bigger role. Kayvon Thibodeau is going to has to step up a lot more. I keep hearing about how wonderful he is because of the fact that he's almost getting to the quarterback. Well, you know what? Almost getting to the quarterback is like a tie. It's like kissing your sister. You don't want to do it, and you don't want him to turn into
king of the almost sack.
So he needs to get to the quarterback. He needs to finish. He needs to understand a way to try to create turnover. He's a rookie, so I'm cutting him some slack. But like I said, it's going to have to be control the clock. Play, and I always say it's the old sports adjective, play within yourself. Play your game. I always love it because it's play your game. And the Giants game is going to be short passes, ball control, everything else. For those that are calling for Kafka's head, please stop. Please stop. The Giants are running the offense they're running because of their quarterback. You don't complete 15 passes behind the line of scrimmage because you think you got a great quarterback. And people are like, well, he doesn't trust the offensive line and the wide receivers. So the last two regimes haven't trusted the offensive line and the wide receivers. I said this in the podcast yesterday. I find it extremely interesting that we've had multitudes of changes in the skill positions and the coaching staffs and the offensive coordinators and the head coaches and the offensive line. But there has been one constant through this entire process the last 3 years, and that's the quarterback. But none of it's the quarterback's fault. Great balls of fire. And to Tay Crowder. Tay Crowder, shut up. Please, shut up. You're complaining about playing time? You have the most missed tackles at your position in the NFL for the most amount of yards gained, and you are whining that you're not playing? You're lucky you are still in the league and not trying to sell me drill bits at Home Depot. Be happy that you are on the roster for the Giants. Be happy that you still have a job in the NFL, Mr. Irrelevant. Again, another player I think he's buying too much into his press clippings. Let's just be honest. Going to be at the game on Sunday, of course. We'll be in the F parking lot, probably usually around F5. Might get there early, drink some beers on the tailgate. So anyone wants to come in and say hello, you're more than welcome to. May have a video on Friday. I haven't decided yet. But again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk entertainment. And as always, if you can like, you subscribe. If you can ring that bell, you know what it means.